Hi students, this is Viresh. You're watching Virus Academy YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss a small topic called NCLT and NCLAT provisions. And before that, all the best to all of the students who are preparing for the upcoming December examination. I'm not making any videos from last few days due to because of multiple reasons like my office work and my shifting of the to the new house and all. So now onwards, I will regularly make some videos, important useful videos for the upcoming attempts. Okay, today we are going to discuss some NCLT and NCLAT provisions. And don't skip these chapters. There are few small chapters are there like special codes, this NCLT and the removal of name of the companies, and lot others are there. Normally students will skip these chapters because they will concentrate mainly on the direct test and IBC code and FEMA and other stuff. So those are very important. I'm not saying those are not important, but this is a straight case. If the question comes from these chapters, you will able to definitely able to answer the questions. So you sometimes institute may surprise. They will ask the 3 marks questions from these chapters. Maximum marks that will come from these chapters is 3 marks. And let us discuss that topic today. Okay, without wasting time, just start that. NCLT. What is NCLT? National Company Law Tribunal. This, if you see in the Companies Act 1956, there are a lot of quasi judicial forms were there. For example, Company Law Board, CLB, Company Law Board, and Board for Industrial and Financial Reconstruction, and some appellate authority for the financial reconstruction, and so on. So what used to happen is if any case related to Companies Act and other related matters comes to these quasi-judicial forums, all the topics were interlinked. This is creating some issue, and the cases were dragged for long. So justice was not available at the speedy justice is not available basically. To overcome this, so what Companies Act 2013 lawmakers did is they have introduced this two tribunals. One is National Company Law Tribunal and National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. Okay, with these two things, this whatever company law board is there and BIFR and other appellate authorities were replaced with the National Company Law Tribunal. Okay, that is the background of National Company Tribunal. So what are all the cases will be heard before NCLT? That is Companies Act related and all other matters related to Companies Act. That is one. And second, related to insolvency and bankruptcy code. If you see in the chapter insolvency and bankruptcy code, everywhere the appellate authorities and the decision making authority is NCLT. Okay, NCLT will hear the winding up and as well as the corporate insolvency resolution matters as well. Okay, this is an important thing, IBC related. Yeah, there is a note here. Section 408 and 419, say 408 to 419 is not part of the syllabus. That was removed by ICAI, and it is not applicable from the upcoming examination. So actual chapter starts from section 420 onwards. Section 420, 421, and 423 are very important sections in this chapter, and those are the complete appellate structure of NCLT, NCLAT, and to the Supreme Court. Okay, let us see this table. What are the nature of appeals before NCLT? We have already discussed about this. All company and related matters and corporate insolvency resolution under the IBC will all go here before the NCLT. And civil court has no role here. Whatever cases related to companies and other related matters, and civil courts have no jurisdiction over these cases. These will be heard only before the NCLT. Okay. What NCLT will do once there is receive any complaint, and they will actually take an initiative and give an opportunity of being here to both the parties and pass an order. Once they pass an order, it may be favor to one person and not in favor to another person. Whoever is not in favor to another person, they may prefer an appeal, okay, on this order of NCLT. To whom? And NCLAT. NCLAT is National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. So they will go to the appellate tribunal. Aggrieved party will go to the appellate tribunal. Within how many days? Within 45 days. So if you see here, on order of the NCLT, one can appeal before the NCLAT also. On how many? What is the time limit for the same? Is 45 days. So for example, sometimes what will happen is within 45 days he may not able to file the appeal due to the various reasons, because of the medical reasons. Maybe he was there abroad for some other business purpose, and he was not able to file within 45 days. Because of the sufficient reason, the NCLAT may condone the delay till maximum. How many number of days they can condone the delay? 45 days. Means original 45 days time limit and additional 45 days additional power given to the NCLAT to condone the delay, provided there is a sufficient reason. Okay, total 90 days maximum to maximum they can they one should file before the NCLT. If any appeal filed after 90 days, even if there is a sufficient reason was there for not filing within that time, the appeal may not be accepted. This is very very important. Okay. Okay, let's come back to the story. And NCLAT will also give opportunity to both the parties, and they will hear the case carefully, and they will pass an order. Okay, it may be favor to one person, it may not be favor to other person. What other person will do, he can still have a final chance, go before the Supreme Court, the final authority in India. He can go to the Supreme Court as well. But is it possible for the Supreme Court to hear each and every case? It is not possible for them. There are already a lot of cases are pending before Supreme Court. So what Supreme Court will say is, if it is a question of law, then only they will take up the case. If it is a question of fact, NCLAT will be the final fact finding authority. Only in case of question of law, they will accept the appeal. Within how many number of days you will file an appeal? Within 60 days from the date of order of NCLAT. Okay, same like NCLAT, even Supreme Court also have the power of condonation of delay. 60 days is the original timeline, and if there is a delay due to sufficient cause, they can extend this time limit, or they can condone the delay maximum up to 60 days. So 60 days original time, 60 days additional power given to the Supreme Court, total 120 days. So on the order of NCLT, if someone files within 120 days, if there is a sufficient reason, they will accept. On 121 and onwards, even if there is a sufficient reason for not filing within the time, the appeal will get dismissed because it was not filed within the time. Okay, I hope you understand this. An order of the Supreme Court, we all know, it is final and binding on all the parties. There is no further appellate authority available. This is all about, and most of the questions came from this area only. Appellate structure and the time limit. Time limit is very very important. Questions came from this area only. Section 420. Yeah, before going to section 422, I just want to solve two questions based on these time limits. Yeah, one question is from study material, one question is from the past attempts. I took these two questions here, very very important and interesting questions. Yeah, I won't read the entire case here. I will just give you the crux of the case here. So what was happened is, one person called Rama filed an appeal before NCLT. He received an order. He is not satisfied with the order of the NCLT. He preferred an appeal before the NCLAT. Then NCLAT passed an order. Then also he was not happy with the NCLAT order. He goes to the Supreme Court and he filed an appeal before the Supreme Court. And the question is about whether a case filed before Supreme Court is admissible or inadmissible. That is the question. This question is about the time limit. So if you see here, he received an order from NCLAT Tribunal on 30th April 2020. Based on the normal scenario, by when he has to file an appeal before Supreme Court? Within 60 days. That is May 31 days, and June 29 days. It becomes 60 days. So on or before 29th of June 2020, he has to prefer an appeal before the Supreme Court on only on question of law. Okay, when he filed an appeal before Supreme Court, 30th September 2020. So if you count from 30th April to 30th September, the number of days will come to 196 days. So even if he filed after 60 days with a sufficient reason that Supreme Court can condone the delay, the maximum number of days Supreme Court can condone the delay is additional 60 days only. 60 plus 60, only 120 days. He has filed appeal after 196 days after receiving of an order. So this appeal won't stand before the Supreme Court. This is a time barred appeal. So that is the answer. This question is from the study material. Okay. So this was question asked in the May 2018 exam. So here also it's about, again it's about the time limits only, time limit provisions. And what was happened in this case is, there is one shareholder, and he was agreed by the actions of the company, and there is some mismanagement in the affairs of the company. He preferred an appeal before NCLT. So NCLT has passed an order, and agreed by that order, the shareholder again passed an appeal before the NCLAT. So the question is about whether the filing before the NCLAT is in order or not. This is more of about the continuation of delay power with the NCLAT. So what was happened is, during the time of this 45 days between the NCLT order and appeal before the NCLAT, the shareholder suffered with some low blood pressure. So which is a sufficient cause for continuation of the delay. Then he filed an appeal before finally on 5th of December 2017. So which was within the time. You can go through actually, due to the time constraint, I'm not explaining here each and every point, otherwise I would have read it out each and every line here. Okay, you can go through this appeal is admissible, okay, with sufficient, there is a reason for the cause of delay. Okay, these two questions are very very important. So far from this chapter, the questions are asked mostly from this area of appellate provisions only, and further that is also on the time limits only. Okay, go through this table first. uh, this table is very very important. Yeah, let's move on, and we are on section 422. Section 422, again very interesting section, and we all know that justice delayed is justice denied. Taking the morality of this from this sentence, this section was introduced. You know, there are lots of cases will pending before the tribunal, high court, supreme court. There should be a time limit for the disposal of cases, right? For that reason this section was introduced. And any case filed before the NCLT or NCLAT, they have to dispose of the appeal within 3 months from the date of the appeal. That is the section is all about. Section 422 is a expeditious disposal of the cases. Okay, so within 3 months, NCLT and NCLAT has to dispose of the cases. What will happen if they don't dispose of the cases within 3 months? Sometimes it may happen. After recording the reasons for the delay, they can extend the time limit by further 90 days. So 3 months is the original time, and they can extend up to 90 days. So the total will be 3 months plus 90 days. This is the maximum time NCLT or the NCLAT has to dispose of the appeals filed before them. So this 90 days automatically, once the 3 months is over, automatically this time limit extended by another 90 days after recording the reasons. The answer is no, it won't be extended easily. The decision is with the president or the chairman of the tribunal. If the president or chairman thinks that there should be no additional time limit will be provided for these cases, and it has to be disposed of within original time limit of 3 months only, then it has to be disposed of within 3 months only. There is no additional time will be granted for these cases. So this is very very important, and this may be a question from the MCQ perspective also. Like they may ask a question like, the as per section 422, the time limit available for the 3 months, the next 90 days extended by the tribunal, who has the power to expand this, or they will ask the how many days NCLT or NCLAT extend the time limit and all. They may ask any question from this section 422. It is also very very important. Okay, and yeah, there will be one more practical question that came to your mind, most of you, and you may think that 3 months is over, and president or chairman is not going to extend the time limit. Then what will happen to the appeal filed before them? What will happen to the parties? So this will be the question, right? But in the practical scenario, that is not the way they deal. For example, 3 months is the time limit, right? After 2.5 months, the technical or judicial member which was there on the bench, they will know whether this case will be disposed of within this next 15 days or not. Then they will approach to the president or the chairperson of the tribunal, say that this case is pending before from last 2.5 months. Time limit is about to close by next 15 days. What is your opinion? Can we extend this time, or you want me to proceed to give our judgment within this next 15 days only? then accordingly they will give the judgment within 15 days, and by calling the parties for frequent hearings of the case and all, so they will dispose it of in that way. There is no there is no problem it will be created to the parties to the appeal because of this time limit. Okay, I hope you're clear on that. And section 22 422 is a very simple section. I just drafted one MCQ here. You can go through this. This MCQ is about the time limit of under section 422. There is an appeal filed before NCLT on 1st April 2021. Maximum by when NCLT should pass an order, including the extended time granted by the president. That means 3 months as well as the 90 days. Just calculate the 3 months plus 90 days. What is the time from 1st April 2021? The answer is C. That is on or before 28th September 2021. So when you are calculating months, you can conveniently take, for example, 1st April 2021. I need to calculate 3 months: April, May, June. So 30th June, original time limit. But when I'm calculating the days, I have to calculate the exact number of days. For example, 30th June, original time limit is over. Now I have to calculate the 90 days. How I should calculate? July 31 days, August 31 days, total 62 days. Now how many days I have? Only 28 days. So 28 days, by when 28 days will expire? On 28th September. On 20th, on or before 20th September 2021, NCLT has to pass an order. Okay, the answer is C. I'm moving on. This is the most important area of this NCLT and NCLAT is over. And now we are going to the procedural matters before the appellate tribunal. That is section 424 onwards is all procedural matters, less important for the examination, but you just go through and read once. If it comes, that will be good. Okay. Procedure before tribunal and appellate tribunal, section 424. This procedure is not different from the all the areas that you have already studied. All of these points you already studied with you. These are very general provisions. And if you see here, tribunal will also have the all the powers which are having by the Code of Civil Procedure under 1908. You might have heard these points, you might have read these points multiple times. Just to go through these points, I'm not going to explain here. These points you are already aware of. This summoned and enforcing and production of documents, receiving affidavits, any other matters, setting aside the order and passing an ex parte order. All of these powers common across various provisions in the corporate law. Okay. If you have already gone through those topics, just recapitulate those points here. That is enough. Same points. There is no difference. Now coming to for section 425 to 434. Okay, I wrote one point for each section. That is more than enough. Just go through these notes only, and this is the crux of the each section. First, section 425. Section 425 says the tribunal and appellate tribunal, while dealing the appeals filed before them, they have the power like a high court. They have the authority like a high court, with some modifications, with some exceptions, under the Contempt of Courts Act 1971. That is about section 425. Section 426. And if a tribunal needs additional information or any inquiry into the matter, they can they can authorize any of the officer or employee, that they can tell that you go and inquiry into the matter and submit a report to the tribunal, and they can do so. That power has given under section 426 to the tribunal and appellate tribunal. Okay. A party has received an order. So NCLT or NCLAT issued a given its judgment. Obviously, it may be favorable to one person and not favorable to another person. Whoever is aggrieved by the order, can they go to the police station and file a case before before the judges? The answer is no. They cannot file before the judge, president, officer, employee, any person related to the tribunal. They cannot file a suit, because they acted in the good faith. They hear both the parties and they given their judgment, so as per the what legislation says, what the law says. So no civil cases or suits can file before the judges. So that's about section 428, if they acts in good faith. Okay, section 430. Section 430 says, we already know that civil court has no role to play in the cases related to NCLT or NCLAT. Okay. Then next section is 431 and say 432. So 431 and 432 are a little more important compared with the other sections in this section 428 to 434. Section 431 says merely because there is some vacancy or some defect in the constitution of the tribunal doesn't automatically invalidate the proceedings before the tribunal or the appellate tribunal. That is what section 431 says. For example, if I can take an example, for in the bench, both are judicial members only were present. Normally, one technical member, one judicial member will present, but both are technical members only, or both are judicial members only. This doesn't automatically invalidate the proceedings heard before the tribunal. Okay, that is about section 431. That is what section 431 says. Section 432. Section 432. So it is not possible for everyone to know about the Companies Act, right? So any person can file an appeal, but to represent before the tribunal or appellate tribunal, they can actually take help of CA, CS, or company secretary and cost accountants, or even legal practitioners. Also, they can take help to appear before the tribunal and the appellate tribunal. CS were also included here. This is another business opportunity for CS. Okay, this is about section 432. This is all about NCLT and NCLAT chapter. This is a very small chapter. Don't skip this chapter. Please share this video with all of your friends. Okay, and I will keep these kind of very important topics to you for this next 20-25 days. And you can actually message me in the comment section that which topic you want me to teach in this next 20-25 days. Any section like independent directors in the directors chapter, or any particular section, any particular concept, I will make a video on the same. Okay, thank you so much and all the best, and give your best in the upcoming examination. My next video will be mostly on the special courts and removal of companies and all. And watch this channel and stay on this channel. There are other videos for also there, like related to government companies and Nidhi company. There are no amendments that was uploaded for the last attempt. Please go through those as well. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.